To paraphrase Paddy Chayefsky's 1977 Oscar-winning screenplay Network, our friend Mike Barnicle is mad as hell and he's not going to take it anymore.
We have a damaged, delusional old man who, again, might get reelected to the presidency of the United States. He is that close to it again. How did this happen? How does it happen that a man who speaks the way he speaks, deranged sometimes, delusional sometimes, some of the things he posts on Truth Social, his website, you cannot repeat on American television. You wouldn't repeat the words in front of your children. That's who he is. How did we get here? How did the Republican Party get here? And I have to tell you, and I hesitate to say this, and I don't know whether Jonathan or Willie or Donnie would agree with me, but there's a false equivalency going on in the coverage of this race, in that Donald Trump can say whatever crazy things he wants to say about submarines and sharks and electric batteries, whatever he wants to say. And it's not really covered in the sense that it's covered describing who said it, why he said it, and who the man is, Trump, out of his mind. And always in that story, in the equivalency, the false equivalency by too many reporters and too many American newspapers, there's also, by the way, Kamala Harris changed her mind on fracking. They always throw in something like that in coverage of the story. It's ridiculous. We don't cover the man for how dangerous he is.
Joining our discussion now is Michael Eric Dyson, Distinguished Professor of African American Studies and Ethics at Vanderbilt University. He is the co-author of the new book, Represent, The Unfinished Fight for the Vote. Michael, to Mike Barnicle's question. How did we get here? One of the places we're at is this world of the double standard. There's going to be a standard for Donald Trump tomorrow night, and there's going to be a standard for Kamala Harris tomorrow night.
That's true.
We know Kamala Harris' standard is going to have to be perfection.
Yes.
We know Donald Trump's standard is something else.
That's right.
We've had double standards in this country for a long time, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. And that's a brilliant way you set it up, because it's deeply entrenched. There's nothing new to Kamala Harris. You know, as an African-American boy growing up, born under the wing of Jim Crow in Detroit, Michigan, it was battered into my brain that you have to be twice as good. Now, I know that's an old shibboleth to some and it's an old saw to others, but it is true that a certain generation of black people felt we've got to outperform just to get half the consideration. So Kamala Harris knows already that we're grading Trump on a curve, and we're grading him, you know, with a great dispensation of grace and mercy, and oh, that's just Donald being Donald, where she has to be held to a higher standard. She won't complain, she won't bellyache, she'll perform. And that's the best way to beat these folk who engage in that kind of unspoken privilege.
You've been in various debate formats and different kinds of academic challenges over the years that are much more sophisticated than this kind of thing. But how is, just as a student of rhetoric, how is one, and a master of it, how does one confront rhetorically pathological lying?
Yeah, that's a great point. The thing is, she gave a bit of a hint when, on an interview on another station, when she was asked about Mr. Trump, and she said, same old tired playbook, next question. Now, I think at this point, she can also illustrate to the nation how invidious, how hateful his rhetoric is. So she's got to engage a little bit to say, this is the worst aspect of our American soul. This is not what Lincoln would call the better angels of our nature. So first, she shows that she's a master of rhetoric in a way that Donald Trump could never dream to be. And then she uses it to dispose of his arguments, which are faulty. And then thirdly, she reminds people there is a huge difference between this man with his crickety logic that is desultory, jumping from subject to subject, and me, I'm going to stay steady and do what I do. I think at that level, the pathological lying will continue, but it won't affect her in the same way.